Captain on the bridge.
Alrighty, captains, we are back on the bridge, and today, yes, we got some things to go over. I'm the Star Trek Online official Twitter feed, so on screen. Yes, captains, before we get into this video, do us a huge favor, hit that like button. Also, if you're new here, welcome. Consider subscribing here to the YouTube bridge, as we're always on the lookout for like-minded captains where we can share our love, our passion for Star Trek Online, but also things Star Trek. Now, that said, here we go. Captains, we got a couple things to go over. So as we normally do here, we'll go over them, drop our two ECs, and then at the end, give our conclusion. So first up, captains on console can get bonus points to their upgrades. This was just the case on the PC bridge. Now it's heading to the console bridge. So go over here, upgrade events. Captains on Xbox and PlayStation can get double the upgrade points until May 16th. I'm still striving to get the greatest performance out of your equipment. This week will be the perfect time to apply tech upgrades to your gear, as we're doubling the amount of technology points earned from each one applied. So from May 9th, that's going to be tomorrow as of this video, up until May 16th. On Xbox and PlayStation, every tech upgrade used will apply twice as many technology points toward your next upgrade. This in turn reduces the amount of dilithium that must be spent to reach each upgrade threshold, allowing captains additional chances to attain both mark and rarity increases to their favored loadouts. Now, captains, I recommend you use Phoenix Tech upgrades. I find that those are the best for me personally. Now, hopefully you've been saving them, because this is the perfect time to definitely try them on your gear so you can get a better chance of getting them not only up to the 15 mark, level 15 mark, but also to epic quality. So again, that is from May 9th going to the 16th on the console bridge. Next up, some lovely pictures here. Actually, we'll give this a shout out to Chris K for some of these lovely pictures. And funny enough, as of this video, we were doing a TNG/Picard theme stream. So these ships would definitely fit in that era, as you can see. So of course, this is in the official Star Trek Online. They retweeted these beautiful pics, as they should. And I will say this is my favorite here. The two Galaxies. Oof, I've been flying the Galaxy here the last couple of weeks here, and we all know why. I will blame Star Trek Picard. So there's that. Next up here, so the GORN Hunter Raider and other items from Strange New World, like the Magellan uniform and 2259 phaser, are coming to PC tomorrow. So there's a video here, we're going to watch this, but also keep in mind there is an actual retweet after that, not a retweet, but an additional tweet after, 2 hours after the initial post. Apologies for the typo. Everything that's not the ship is going into the LOBI store, so keep that in mind. But we have a video to watch here. Again, we will watch it and then give our conclusions at the end here. And there we have it. So that is indeed the GORN Raider ship. Not the biggest fan, I'm not gonna lie, captains. This, for me, definitely will be resources saved. But if this is a ship that you've been looking forward to since Strange New World, and it appeared in Strange New World, then here you go. Now, note, this took a while for this to get in game, so I'm surprised it took this long, but of course that could just be due to the scheduling of the releases alongside with all the other things that they're trying to get in Star Trek Online in sort of line of what's going on screen there in Star Trek. So first up here, I'm thinking that's like a hole in the ship there. Again, I'm not a huge fan, and I'm not going to apologize for being a Fetty boy, but that's how I got into Star Trek. So again, captains, if this is something for you, you have it there. Now, we did go over this a little bit there on the 10 forward stream there from the information we got, but we'll go over it again once they release the blog for this. Today they're just showing the video, and of course it has, I'm going to just put the volume down here as we go along here. Again, this is static, because when it's moving, and again, I think that's a hole that goes all the way to the ship there, just kind of like a weird, this is how it is probably static, with that bit there, the biggest part being at the top there, with the rest being, it is cool that it has like a torpedo launcher. Oh, it's not. Like a torpedo launcher on one of the sides here, or it looks like to me at least, but that looks like it goes all the way through the ship. And this is why I don't like it. Well, not even that, just the overall shape, really, to be honest. And then this has the same kind of trait as the Courier pilot Raider that came out. A lot of Raiders coming out along with the pilot spec on them. Makes sense, but again, if this is something you're looking forward to, it's going to be available to you as a new ship in the Infinity lockbox. So there's that. Let's go over the blog here. There's another shot of that. I just don't like it. I thought this was torpedo launchers, but no, it's just kind of the design there. You can see kind of the scaly skin there. It kind of looks cool. So the Gorn Hunt, the Infinity lockbox. The Infinity lockbox is being updated with a Gorn Hunter pilot Raider, and the LOBI store is getting new items from Strange New Worlds. So there it is again. We saw the video. So everyone eats. To live is to kill. Combat is merely an imperfect hunt. When done properly, taking a ship should not feel like combat or even like killing. It should feel like eating. The Gorn Hunter pilot Raider is a perfect hunter, beautiful in its rejection of arbitrary symmetry, brilliant in its brutality. Pretty speech is for Starfleet. Glory in battle is for Klingons. Gorn hunt, eat, and grow strong physically, mentally. Do only those things which grow naturally from your needs, and do them all. Do not seek selfish glory. Hunt with others. Do not clutter your mind with foolish nonsense. There is no beauty but the beauty of contests, of natural selection, of the way of things. In these, there is enough beauty for a trillion lifetimes. Be strong, be clever, be patient. Do not waste yourself on needless actions. Remember what you are, the infinite violence of natural selection made manifest, made sentient, seeking an apex that is always out of reach. No joy in this. Watch, think, hunt, and dine well. That was a bit much, but they're trying to create the lore again, trying to make the Gorn great again, as they've always been a joke to me personally whenever it's on TOS. But it is what it is. In Strange New Worlds, I will say they did kind of add that fear factor of the Gorn. So I did appreciate that. Captains that have been here on the bridge know that I've quite enjoyed Strange New Worlds. So I appreciate them trying to change them up a little bit to kind of deviate from that look that they first aired in the TOS era. So continue reading further on for full details on this new Starship offering. So there's more angles of it. Again, just not a huge fan of it. For the Gorn Hunter pilot Raider, the ship features a commander tactical / pilot specialist bridge officer seat. No, we get to go to stats right now. And Lieutenant Commander Universal Miracle Worker specialist bridge officer seat. So here we go. Of course, it's a tier 6. Must complete the tutorial first. Faction is KDF. Which means everyone, as long as you leveled up a tune all the way to 65. Hull mod 1.8, shield mod 0.8, 4 weapons 5, apt 1, device slots 2, and in the bridge officer stations, Commander Tactical Pilot, Lieutenant Commander Universal Miracle Worker, a Lieutenant Commander Universal, Lieutenant Universal, Ensign Universal. So the consoles 5 TAC, 5 Eng, 1 Psi. Base turn 20, impulse modifier 0.19, inertia 70 plus 20 weapon power, Console Universal Lore Team Command. Can equip dual cannons, battle cloak. Sure. Raider flanking, experimental weapon. Everything gets a cloak nowadays. Plasma Incinerator Bombard. Pilot maneuvers, Starship Master Package is a Raider, so plus act, plus defense, plus all weapon damage, plus crit severity, and of course the Starship trait is Complex Plasma Fires. Admiralty stats, Eng 47, Side 29, TAC 47. Specials plus 8 TAC and Eng per TAC ship. So the Gorn Plasma Quad Cannon. The Gorn Hunter comes equipped with modified Plasma Quad Cannons. Instead of the usual damage over time proc, these proc a debuff to foe damage resistance that only applies to damage over time abilities. There you go. If you love plasma, that could work for you. Console Universal Lore Team Command. Even with my, and I'll just say this, even with my Romulans and my KDF, I still use Disruptor because it's more greenish and closer to what we've seen on screen. So that's just a personal choice, really. But I know captains out there love their plasma weapons, so there you go. This could be a chance for you to get your new quad cannons, I should say, Gorn quad cannons. Activating this Lore Team Command, console deploys a cloaked Lore Team toward target enemy vessel. When they get into position, they create a friendish trap for nearby adversaries, marking them on the captain's view screen. When the captain's ship approaches a marked ship within 5 clicks, the trap is sprung on that ship, detonating plasma charges on its hull and disabling shields long enough to seize critical combat advantage. Each lured vessel may be detonated separately or together as the captain desires. Interesting. Because it is an independent vessel, the Lore Team may be deployed at great range and while cloaked. This console additionally provides a passive increase to damage over time and passive bonus to plasma damage, so it's synergizing with the quad cannon there. This console can be equipped in any starship in any console slot. You may also equip one of these consoles on any single ship. Tooltip, so deploy Lore Team. Trap triggered when you approach. Deploys a Lore Team for 20 seconds toward target foe. On arrival, they lure each foe within 2.5 clicks. Lure foes suffer a deadly trap when you approach within 5 clicks. To target, applies the trap is sprung. Shields offline for 14 seconds, and of course plasma damage. It just seems too long in the quick TFOs that we normally do, but this may be something fun when you're doing the missions, story missions, and other patrols when you're just by yourself in that certain situation. Sounds fun though. The Starship trait, Complex Plasma Fires. Each time you use an energy weapon firing mode, your plasma weapon volleys will add a stacking plasma damage over time effect to the hit foe. This dot stacks up to 100 times. This indeed doesn't sound broken at all. If the targeted shield facing is down, deal additional plasma damage. Energy weapon firing modes are Beam Fire at Will, Beam Overload, Cannon Scatter Volley, Cannon Rapid Fire, Surgical Strikes, Reroute, Reserves to Weapons, and Exceed Rated Limits. Which of course this ship has these two powers on top of, other than the Surgical Strikes of course. Changes to the chemical composition of the plasma produce deadly knock-on effects. The modified plasma causes spitting fires, which is a type of fire that frequently creates gouts of ejecta. Dear Lord, this language is hilarious. I love it. That spread the hazard over the surface of the ship. This has a cumulative effect, eventually bringing down even the largest of prey. The tooltip here, during energy weapon fire modes, plasma weapons apply stacking plasma damage per second for 30 seconds. Ignore shield scales with weapon power. If shields are down, applies additional direct plasma damage. They're really pushing the plasma damage, aren't they? In addition to the above ship, several new offerings are being added to the LOBI store. Now, I will say this, now I know there are probably a lot of new captains here, but I remember a time that they released ships in the LOBI store whenever a new lockbox came out, and I believe it's time for them to bring that back. I would like it if they would have probably added the Archer to the LOBI store. Now, the Archer captains is that one nacelle ship that just has the saucer and the pylon and the underslung nacelle. Not the greatest thing. I'm just saying that would have been a great opportunity to get that ship in. because I don't see that ship holding up as its own sort of lockbox ship, and you're going to get that ship here anyways, unless they have that plan for a C store. But still, they have not put in a LOBI ship, a new LOBI ship in the LOBI store for a long time. And that is how I actually got my NX. That's how it was first actually available. So space trait, of course, is in the LOBI store. The Pike maneuver. Nice. Space trait, when deploying mines, because they actually did that in Strange New Worlds. No, they didn't. Pike maneuver grabs, unless they did, correct me if I'm wrong, obviously it happens, but I don't remember the Enterprise using mines. Pike, this should have been like dropping of torpedoes or something. That would have made a little bit more sense to me, at least. Pike maneuver grants a damage buff to subsequent mines and bestows a short burst of speed and maneuvering to escape out of range. All right, sure. So that is for the mines, I guess. So when deploying mines, Pike maneuver grants a damage buff to subsequent mines and bestows a short burst of speed and maneuvering. Okay, so I'm guessing that means to the ship, not the actual mines. Universal charge positron matrix bomb. This bomb detonates, creating a diversion that attracts enemy ships. After a short duration, the bomb triggers a second detonation and draws enemies toward the center of the explosion. While equipment of this would typically be considered a weapon, it requires a constant direct connection to your ship's power core and must therefore be equipped as a console. All right. This console can be equipped in any starship in any console slot. You may only equip one of these consoles on any single ship. All right. Sounds okay. I mean, we're going to have to see. I'm not sure if that's something that I'm going to be interested in, but it's going to be there. Now, the 2259 phaser pistol, I think, is the most exciting thing, other than the name of this, the Pike maneuver, which I don't know. This doesn't feel right for some reason for me. I don't know. Let me know how you feel about that, Caps. So the 2259 phaser pistol looks pretty cool. There you go. The 2259C Century phaser pistols have a secondary fire mode that shoots a net of bolts that damage several enemies in front of you. Each shot has an increasing chance to stun targets. So there you go. Something we may consider. Phaser compression pistol. So 2259 Century compression bolt pistols have a secondary fire mode that hits a single target with a high damage bolt of energy and a 50% chance to stun targets on top of the normal phaser ground weapon stun chance. All right. And now a 2259 tricorder. So this is for definitely looking all Strange New Worldsy, but it's a universal kit tricorder. The tricorder provides a passive bonus. Additionally, it has an active ability which increases the kit performance of the next kit module used. Interesting. Next, the Magellan Staff. Very cool looking weapon. Ground Staff, Magellan Staff. The Magellan Staff weapon is used by the Lanarian Guard, who are dedicated to protecting the First Servant. It functions both as ranged energy weapon and a melee staff. Its primary fire deals polaron damage similar to a rifle. Its secondary fire deals large concussive blast that deals damage and knocks back affected targets. The secondary also exploits exposed targets in melee mode. The staff deals extra polaron damage and exposes targets. Each strike has a chance to knock down targets. Defeating foes has a chance to disintegrate them. Nice. So the Magellan Guard uniform. So ground costume Space Barbie captains is here galore, more for you. Magellan Guard uniform, a costume for the Magellan Guard uniform used by the Lanarian Guard, who are dedicated to protecting the First Servant. Now, captains, if you have not watched Strange New Worlds and or forgot who the Magellan are, because I even had to bring this up, this is who they are. The Magellans were a spacefaring humanoid species native to the planet Magellan in the Magellan system, located on the edge of Federation space. Of course, Strange New Worlds lift us where suffering cannot reach. I will say this is one of the most, I don't say disturbing episodes, but it just made you go, huh, you know. And if you haven't watched the Caps, I highly recommend, and maybe if you do, let me know what your thoughts is. But this episode kind of made me feel really bad, but we're not going to go over that. Made me made me feel bad for this, the first servant here, which is this child here. But anyways, we won't go over that because we actually even did a review on that. So thought I'd show that off just regardless, but that's where they're getting these costumes from. But that's it. That is all that we're getting. And of course, that's Jonathan Herleish and Joe Harrington, the system designers. Now, I'm surprised we did not get any uniforms. Having said that, there may be a possibility, maybe a possibility of them giving us the Strange New Worlds uniforms for free. I said possibly. I didn't say they will. Say there's possible, because there has been times that they've given us free uniforms in the past just for release date. So something to watch for. If not, then of course they'll probably release that at a later time. I feel kind of underwhelmed by this box, to be honest with you. The ship, not going to get, regardless. That saved resources for me. We might try out the LOBI items here, like the pike maneuver, just because. Maybe even this bomb, this console, the weapons. We'll probably get a phaser pistol, possibly. The staff, I don't think I'm going to get. I already have some staffs there. I barely use the ones that I have, so I don't really find myself wanting one. And then, of course, these uniforms, I don't really space Barbie much. But again, of course, if you do, captains, that is a choice for you. So this kind of feels underwhelming for me. I feel like they could have put the Strange New Worlds costume here, the Archer ship that was the single nacelle ship there, as a LOBI ship. Would have been a chance to get that in there. What else? When I think of Strange New Worlds, I mean, there's not a lot of things they could have added, really. We've already gotten the Farragut, the Romulan battleship, of course, and now we're going to get this Gorn ship here. And the Strange New Worlds Enterprise, we already had that. That came from the Discovery ship, or show, I should say. So we had that. I just find this underwhelming, but this option will be there for you, captains. I don't think there's anything else to go over other than just dropping that last conclusion there, that this is something that will save us resources, to be honest with you. I'm glad they're putting in Stranger Worlds content here, but I just wish it was more. I'm not sure how much more they could have put in, other than possibly, of course, costumes or even holo buffs. That would have been even better. In the LOBI store would have been great. Some more type traits, I don't know what, but you know, we saw the Enterprise there a lot doing another trait that they could have used is dropping torpedoes from your ship as you fly over them or something, which is what they did in this episode, or at least in Stranger Worlds episode when they were fighting the Gorn there in that nebula. So I don't know, I think it's great, again, like I said, that they're getting Stranger World stuff in here, but I just wish it was more, and just wish they would add a ship. But regardless of that, captains, let us know how you feel in the description below. With that said, hit that like button. Again, subscribe here to the YouTube Bridge. And of course, let us know your thoughts, and we will leave it on this note.
Live long and prosper.